Have your strengths ever gotten you into trouble at work? Now, if you're not nodding your head right now, you're missing one of the easiest ways to improve your performance, because every strength has a shadow side that you need to be aware of. So let's see what the science suggests. Hi there, Michelle here from McQuaid TV. We're helping you find ways to move from functioning to flourishing by putting the latest science to the real-world test. Now, for more than a decade, a growing body of evidence has been suggesting that developing our strengths, those things we're good at and actually enjoy doing, offer a host of benefits when it comes to our jobs. For example, just recently, I partnered with the VIA Institute to randomly sample 1,000 adult Americans across all ages, education levels and occupations. And we discovered that most employees, 78% to be precise, who have the opportunity to do what they do best each day at work, to use their strengths, report feeling engaged and energised in their jobs and believe that they're making a difference and that their work is appreciated. Not only that, but 70% of these employees describe themselves as flourishing at work over the last 6 months. So, is this just a case of discovering what your strengths are and then doing more of it? Well, not quite. New research suggests that there's a specific formula for applying your strengths that's worth thinking about. So drumroll please. Lots of the existing advice around using our strengths encourage you to just use it more. But just like you wouldn't use a hammer to fix everything in your house without expecting to end up with a few holes where you didn't want them, you don't want to apply your strengths like they're a blunt instrument. Instead, Dr. Alex Linley and his colleagues recommend that the secret to using your strengths effectively is to ensure you're choosing the right strength, in the right amount, and at the right time. And he calls this the golden mean of our strengths. You see, your strengths don't just exist within you. They're also shaped by the context that you'll find yourself in. After all, you don't want to use a strength like love at work in the wrong way, or you could find yourself fired for it. So how can you improve the ways you're putting your strengths to work? Well, here are 4 practical steps that I recommend to find your golden mean more consistently, no matter what your job description says. Firstly, get clear on what your strengths actually are. If you can't name your top 5 strengths, then head on over to viacharacter.org and take the free 10-minute strength survey to help you understand what you really look like at your best. Secondly, to help you bring those generic descriptions to life, look for the times when you're hitting the golden mean of your strengths and getting them just right. You can do this by simply thinking back on those high point moments, the times that are memorable and stand out when you felt really engaged and energised and enjoying what you were doing at work. What exactly was happening in these moments? What were you doing? How did you feel? What makes these moments so memorable? And most importantly, which of your top strengths were you using? Now, there may be more than one strength in play when you look at these moments. For example, when I first completed the VIA survey, I was the global brand manager for a large firm, and the high point moments in my work involved creating a global brand campaign to pilot in one country before we rolled it out around the world. And when I reflect back on what I was doing in those moments, it was clear that my strengths of creativity and curiosity were consistently present. And knowing this, I was able to better harness these strengths in different situations to get the outcomes that we needed and create work that I really enjoyed doing. Thirdly, it's important to also understand where you may be underplaying your strengths. Now, these will be the times you've hesitated, held yourself back, or dimmed yourself down at work. And to find these moments, simply think back to those times where you've missed an opportunity because you lacked confidence, perhaps feared failure, or you didn't want to stand out from your peers. Now again, what exactly was happening in these moments? What were you working on? What might have holding yourself back cost you or your team? And most importantly, which of your top strengths could you have dialed up to make this situation easier, more energising and enjoyable? For example, one of my strengths is gratitude. While I'm pretty good at being grateful for all the good things I have in my life, as an introvert, I realised that I often underplayed my expression of gratitude to others at work. Now, my global brand role relied heavily on building good relationships, so dialing up my strength of gratitude in my relationships was an authentic and easy way for me to connect better with other people. Then finally, you need to be aware of where you're overplaying your strengths, and we all do from time to time. Now, these will be the times when you feel like everything should be going really well, but it's just not quite coming together the way that you hoped. So think back on the times when, despite trying to do your very best work, people perhaps haven't been as appreciative as you'd expect. Maybe things haven't really gone to plan, or you felt on the verge of burning yourself out. What exactly was happening in these moments? How did it feel to be working so hard and yet still be unable to deliver the results you wanted to, or be appreciated for your efforts? And which of your strengths were you overplaying in this situation that, if dialed back a little bit, could have helped you get a better outcome? Now, in my experience, if you scratch the surface of most of the feedback you've ever been given on your weaknesses, you'll probably find it's a strength that you're overplaying. For example, for years, various bosses all told me the same thing: to slow down a little at work so others could catch up. But slowing down wasn't in my nature, wasn't how I enjoyed working, and to be honest, I had no real motivation to fix this weakness. But when I discovered one of my top strengths was zest, energy and vitality, I realised that what they were describing was actually my strength being overplayed. And dialing it down, essentially slowing down a little bit, became a whole lot easier. I was motivated to want to use this strength well, and I felt confident I could fine-tune its use in different situations to achieve better results. Now, that's a lot to take in, so you'll find a play sheet below this video to help you discover where you're underplaying, overplaying, and getting your strengths just right to help you from my book, Your Strengths Blueprint. If you want to try hitting the golden mean of your strengths right now, then share this video with your family and friends, especially those who might be needing to find ways to use their strengths a little better at work. And if you'd like more practical and playful ideas from the latest science on human flourishing, then be sure to subscribe, or stop by michellmcquaid.com, leave your name and email address so you can hear all our news first. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching Shell McQuaid TV. Remember, you are good enough, so don't be afraid to let your strength shine. Until next time, take care.